It's so interesting. Last year, I bought an Apple Watch Ultra 2. I don't know if you can see it on the screen.
We see it.
The black one. When I bought my Apple Watch Ultra silver one, the 2 from the year prior in 2023, they still had the blood oxygen feature. And I got the black one because I really liked the sleekness of the black color, even though there were no other features. You can call me an Apple fanboy, but I did lose a feature. That was the blood oxygen, right? Because when this came out at the end of 2024, they were embroiled in that lawsuit already. So now me and other people who bought an Apple Watch Series 10, an Apple Watch Ultra 2, or Apple Watches after the lawsuit situation started to take off and the injunction, now we're getting blood oxygen back. But it's not exactly back. So it was pretty seamless when this feature worked. If you had a Series 6 or a watch newer than that supports it, there's an app. So you open the app, right, and you let the Apple Watch sit on your wrist for 15 seconds. It makes some cool animation. Then it tells you what your SpO2 percentage is. Usually for most people, it's between 95% and 100%. That's no longer the case. Now, you're going to have to go into your phone to get that data wirelessly synced over from the watch. There is no watch app for it anymore. So it is less convenient.
Is this a workaround?
Is now back.
Is this a workaround?
It's a workaround.
Like a legal workaround?
It's the workaround of all workarounds.
Okay. It doesn't seem seamless in the sense of like what Apple typically does when it comes to the user experience by any means.
It's not exactly seamless, and if Apple eventually gets to a place where legally it's able to bring the app back, I'm certain they will. It's funny, when they made this announcement, the thing with Apple is you always come from a position of strength, right? I'll never forget, when they announced the iPod was discontinued, their press release headline was "The music lives on," right? So position of strength. The position of strength narrative today, they're calling it a redesigned experience for blood oxygen, despite the fact that it's been missing for 2 years, by the way, in the US. So really bringing the lead here.
So love the marketing team on that. Hey, but I do wonder, is this an important step into Apple and health and kind of maybe building out another market for them?
Well, no one's going to buy an Apple Watch or not buy an Apple Watch because of the blood oxygen feature, right? It was a hot button issue when at the beginning of COVID, people were correlating the percentage of blood oxygen in your body to whether or not you had COVID or how bad your lungs were if you had the virus, right? They launched it at a very opportune time. These days, it's not a metric that people are talking about as much. The hot ones are obviously glucose, which the Apple Watch doesn't do, blood pressure, which the Apple Watch doesn't do, and heart rate is your baseline metric that can power all sorts of applications and data points. So that's really what's important. But there's some people who are hesitant to upgrade from their older Apple Watches to new Apple Watches because they feel like they're going to upgrade fine, but they're going to lose that feature that maybe it's important to them, or maybe they feel adds more value to the watch. Maybe they'd like to know that it's there, whether or not they use it or find it useful. Now that this is back, about a month before the new Apple Watches will go on sale, the timing is pretty terrific for Apple.
Is this is the next version of the Apple Watch one I should buy, Mark? I still don't have one.
Yeah, I'm not expecting significant changes to the Apple Watch next month. I think the Series 11 is going to be, for all intents and purposes, externally a minor tweak. The Apple Watch Ultra 3 will be more significant. It'll have a slightly larger display, satellite connectivity, and then on the low end, they're going to introduce the Apple Watch SE. That's their low-end model in multiple sizes. So that could be interesting for people who are wanting to buy into the lower end of the market, you know, competing with the likes of Fitbit and lower-end Garmin's and what have you.
Hey, Mark, one thing I've been noticing, I think the world has been noticing what's been going on with Apple shares. And since August 5th, the stock is up about 15%. And this is a stock that has certainly lagged some of its Mag 7 or big tech brethren, if you will. Is it all about Tim Cook going to the White House?
Yeah, it's all about Tim Cook going to the White House. The investment community knows that this is all quid pro quo, right? Tim Cook and Donald Trump, the president, mostly are notorious or famous for this. They've done it before. Seeing a tight relationship between Tim Cook and Donald Trump puts investors at ease. There's a Department of Justice lawsuit that Tim Cook wants to get rid of. There was this Apple Watch U.S. customs change that was made today. Not sure if Donald Trump played a role in it or not. Who knows, right? But there are many factors in the regulatory segment that Cook needs Trump's help with. And seeing a positive relationship and a positive reception to Tim Cook in the White House, it's very positive if you're an investor. You feel you can sleep better at night if you have a lot of money in Apple, knowing that Donald Trump is on your good side.
Okay, from a mega cap tech company to another consumer tech company, much, much smaller, but on our radar, Mark, Peloton, some exclusive details about what the company has and will release, including a redesigned bike, some AI features, new treadmill. What can you tell us?
Yeah, my team reported today, Samantha Kelly on our consumer tech group reported today that Peloton is preparing a major product launch for early October. So they're going to have an Apple-style keynote launch. The new CEO of Peloton is Peter Stern. He was an Apple executive for about half a decade, was the second in command essentially in their services department. He was very senior in a lot of matters across the company. He's going to introduce refreshed bikes, refreshed treadmills, a rebrand of their rower, but the big picture is an end-to-end software overhaul related specifically to the integration of artificial intelligence. And the goal is to become more of a customized wellness company, lots of personalization, artificial intelligence throughout their products, to really spur upgrades to newer hardware and spur upgrades to pricier subscriptions and keep people glued to the ecosystem.
You know, the CEO, Peter Stern, that you mentioned, he did say on the earnings call that the turnaround is in the works, assuring investors at that point. Stock is little changed on the year and a little bit lower, Mark, in today's session, just about. Oh, am I wrong? Wait, hold on a second. I think I had up the wrong screen.
No, I
yeah,
think,
it's down about
right.
0.6%. So,
yeah,
is this a turnaround?
Down.
Yeah,
Okay.
is this a significant turnaround? This stuff?
Well, turnaround hasn't happened yet, right? I mean,
Okay.
they're still forecasting sales decline for the current quarter. The last several quarters, they've continued to decline in sales. Overall hardware revenue in terms of their fiscal year 2025 is down 18% on an annual basis. So in terms of the raw numbers that investors care about most, revenue, sales, it's not great. Profit has improved, net cash has improved, some of the underlying metrics have improved, but we're talking about a company that just laid off 6% of employees a few days ago, right? So from a business standpoint, they're still trying to right-size the company. The last CEO did several layoffs, laid off several hundred people, made lots of changes, basically stripped the company down to the ground and saved it from going completely bankrupt. Now it's about turning things around and convincing people to buy the product again.
Right.
We will see if that happens, but this launch event in October will be a start.